Hi guys, welcome to my channel over here. My name is Dawn, where today we are going to be doing a Sephora VIB product try on. This is all first impressions to me. Some of this stuff is new and new to me. This is going to be part one because for some reason they shipped out my product separately, so I have another shipment on the way at some point. It hasn't shipped yet, so once I get that stuff, that will be part two. There is not a full face here, and the second part to this isn't a whole lot of stuff, so anything that is not new, I will let you guys know what I'm using. I'm not sure yet if I'll just speed it up on camera or if we will just go off camera and put it on, but either way I will let you guys know what I used that was not a part of the haul. And I'm keeping everything high-end-ish, at least stuff that you can get from Sephora, since this is a Sephora VIB products try on first impressions. If this is a video that you like, if you love makeup, if you love watching videos where people try on new makeup for the first time and give their first impressions, go ahead and smash that subscribe button and please give it a thumbs up. And all of these products will be in a future speed reviews where I've tried everything out for longer than once or twice and I can give my final thoughts on everything. So without further ado, let's jump in and try out these products I'm so excited to give a try for. We're going to use this product. I have two lip products. They're both kind of the same. One's from Tower 28, one's from Ole Henriksen. We can put this one on first. These both are kind of like a lip balm, lip treatment type of product. I have this one in the shade. I know I have it somewhere. There is 12 milliliters in this. Let me look on here. I can tell you because there's only 3 shades. Cocoa Cream, which I thought that was okay. Anyways, Cocoa Cream, and there's 3 and it retails for $22. It's clean at Sephora, good for dryness, vegan, good for anti-aging, and loss of firmness. Again, it's a lip product. I like to put like lip balms, treatments, lip masks on my lip while I'm doing my makeup and then go in with another lip product at the end. But we only have 2 products lip-wise that are kind of the same like this one, but we're going to try this one first. An advanced lip treatment with skin-supporting peptides and cocoa butter that quickly, visibly plumps lips with hydration and smooth fine lines. So we're going to try this one first, especially because it's supposed to have that plumping effect and the peptides. So here's what the applicator looks like and the product. So it looks a lot like my, actually it's behind me here, Summer Fridays. My Summer Fridays one, same kind of applicator. And I will go ahead and do a swatch for you guys. So here's what the color looks like. I'm gonna guess that they're both gonna sheer out pretty sheer. Yeah, that's pretty sheer once you get it on your lips. But that looks like a very juicy, glossy look, which I like. Doesn't really have a scent to it. Don't be terrified of how dark it looks, because as you saw with the swatch, it's gonna definitely sheer out. Yeah, it's definitely giving a sheer wash of color. These are good, would be good to use and apply with a lip liner, but again, these are also good for just treatments to wear alone like this, to wear at bedtime, to wear on top of a lipstick, or you can use a liner with it. But it feels really nice, and it's really nice and smoothing. I feel like it definitely helped smooth out my lip lines a little. We will see if it really has any plumping effect, but so far so good, right? I like it. It looks good, it's juicy, it's glossy. I love that look. For eyes, we're going in with the Makeup by Mari New Master Matte Eyeshadow Palette, the Neutrals. I never tried his eyeshadow palettes. I've always wanted to. This is the neutral. He has a lot of other ones. I almost got his other one and then I decided not to. And I already got this dirty on the back. And I just got this. I've swatched everything, but I haven't actually used it. And this is still on. So we are going to pull that off. That's so satisfying to pull that plastic off of a mirror. So it's got a nice mirror here. And we got some really, really pretty colors. Like I said, as you can see, I did do some swatches. They feel really, really nice and creamy and smooth. And I'm excited to give them a try. Now, usually when I use an all mattes palette, I do have a couple, not very many. Like my e.l.f. one is all mattes. I go with the shimmer, but I want to give this a fair try and use it all. So we are going to first take my Angie Hanna Flashy A501. It's kind of like a flat, like this. I don't know, I kind of like that. And we're going to go in with this lighter shade here. And I'm just going to use this as a transition shade. And then we're just, I like to tap I do have the Super Goop sunscreen on, their new Super Goop. I'm trying to test it out because I don't know how I feel about it. The first time I used it, I actually did like it. It blended in really nicely and layered really nicely with my, is it CoverGirl, that new Essence foundation. I used that as more of a glowy primer that day. And I used the Super Goop as my actual sunscreen. And then I went with the new About Face foundation on top of all that. And it blended really well with all that. And it did a good job with layering. I've used it a few other times with some other products, but I'm still not sure how I feel about it. It's definitely, I feel like, a really good product to use as a no makeup look. But I do like those looks from time to time. But even with those looks, I like a little bit more coverage. And I feel like it didn't give me too much coverage, so I definitely would use it more as a sunscreen, or maybe a sunscreen as like my primer. So I did put some here on my lid because it is obviously tinted, to help disguise some of my discoloration on the lid. So we're going straight in. And as you see, I like to do a lot of tapping motions. I've mentioned it before in recent videos. I'm 38, I've hooded eyes. I will be 39 this year in December, so I do my eyeshadow a little different than how probably a lot of you guys out there do it. And then we're going to go ahead and go into the other eye with this. And then I will play around a little bit with what color I'm going to want to put on the lid. Because again, I usually go in, like I said, with a shimmer, like a single shadow or a shimmer stick. But I want to really give this a try. This is blending very beautifully. I don't see any patchiness. It is just going on very, very smoothly. We'll see how well the colors blend together once we get another color on top of this one. But it's so far so good, and it's going over top of my sunscreen, the Super Goop one, really nicely. I'm thinking of also going ahead and using one of the really dark shades. There is a black in here for eyeshadow. I like to use that as a liner for my upper lid. I don't always do that, but if I'm going to put a shadow color, eyeliner color, I don't usually go with actual eyeliner. I usually opt for eyeshadow. It's more forgiving and really easy to apply. And I like to use either a very chocolate dark brown or a black when I'm using it on my upper lashes. So I'm debating if I want to do that today or not. I did that just recently in a video, even on camera. And actually, it's a lot of concentration for me to do that, so I usually don't do that on camera, but I went ahead and did anyways, and it didn't turn out too bad. So I'm still deciding on that and what to do as far as the color for the lid. Now, after we went into that shade, I think we're going to dive into this middle shade right here. And the shades are on the back. And I'm going to take now just a smaller brush. This is the BK Beauty 203. And I'm going to concentrate it here on the outer corner. And I'm going to just bring it halfway up. And then I will take a blending brush that I have from the same line of this BK Beauty brush line, and just blend those together a little. I'm just using this to apply. Yeah, these are really, really smooth formulas. Like I said, there is some kickback in the pan. So if you're someone that's a deal breaker, I will say we've got some kickback, but I don't care too much about it. For me, it's more how the formula really does perform on my lids, especially having those hooded eyes and being 38, I more care about that. I don't care too much about fallout with shimmer shadows. Sometimes I do, but you can always use a glitter glue. One that I've really been liking lately that you guys will be seeing in upcoming speed reviews. I didn't show it as a new product with my Moira Cosmetics video, mainly because, yeah, I got it from Moira and it was new to me and it was kind of new out there, but I kind of feel like, is that really a product you guys would have wanted to see? I feel like a glitter glue is kind of a boring product, so I did not share that in that video. However, I will say I am enjoying it. It does work really well for keeping your glitters on your lids, not a lot of fallout or any. I've had really good luck with it. So you can use a glitter glue, or you can just easily clean up. There is a makeup eraser pen you can get on Amazon, and I will link that for you guys below. I haven't picked it up yet, but it is something that I've heard about and I plan to pick up. So you can also get that, and that helps a lot too from what I've been told. Now I'm going to take the BK Beauty 202. It's more of a fluffier brush, so it's going to be good for blending out these edges. These really been blended really nicely together. This is more of a cool toned neutral look, but I don't mind. It's really, really, really pretty. You could probably make it smoky, honestly, if you wanted to go with more of a smoky look. Okay, to keep it kind of light on the lid, we're going to go in with this shade here, and we're just going to put this on my lid, my mobile lid. Again, I don't normally go for all mattes on my lid, so this is definitely new to me, but I want to go ahead and see what the potential of this entire palette is, and I'll give you guys some details here in a minute, especially for the price. Okay, that doesn't look bad. I was a little worried putting it all matte on my lid if it would look powdery, chalky, anything like that, because I do have obviously wrinkles and things like that on the lid, but it's not doing that. It actually looks really nice. And I'm very curious now how whatever shade we use here, either the black or there's a very dark chocolate brown here. I swatched when I got this yesterday. I mean, look how chocolate brown that is. That's beautiful. But we also have the black. I almost feel like the black might be a little too intense to put on the upper lash line. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my LYS setting spray here. I'm going to spray this brush. I love this brush. It's the 208 from BK Beauty. You see how tiny this is? This is perfect for doing your upper lash line or even your lower lash line. I use it for that too. I'm gonna just make sure it's not too wet, and I'm gonna dip into that black. We're gonna go, oh no, sorry, the dark chocolate brown I just showed you. So I feel like with how light I went on the lid, the black would be too dark. Or we can go in with this color. Let's experiment and go in with this. It's almost like a blue. I've never done that. And I'm just going to dip in, and then I do like to kind of tap it off a little on the back of my hand just to make sure we don't have too much fallout or it's not too pigmented, because again, I like to use the eyeshadow because it's a very just subtle wash of color on the lid, and it's very smooth, and it's very forgiving, especially for hooded eyes. It's very forgiving for mature skin. And I wouldn't necessarily say I have mature skin yet, but I do like to treat my skin that way, especially with my makeup, just because of my age. I am heading into my 40s. So it is something that I do look out for when I'm looking at makeup, when I'm looking at makeup application. And that's one thing I feel like my channel has that maybe other channels don't. Yeah, there is quite a bit of YouTube creators out there who are around my age or older, but I feel like the market is so saturated with very young creators. There isn't too many older creators, or at least, you know, a YouTube creator in their late 30s, 40s or higher. There are a few, but I don't think there's that many. So I feel like that makes my channel a little bit more unique, and it definitely makes it stand out against a lot of these young creators, which I watch. Don't get me wrong, I watch the young creators too, because I think they are amazing and they bring a lot to the table. So as you can see the difference between this eye and this one, but it's very subtle, and I actually really like that. It's a pretty blue. So I really like this eyeshadow palette. I'm excited to play around with it more, even to use shimmers on the lids. But for now, we just stuck with just that. Just a couple shades and very basic look, but it's very pretty. So it retails for $50. It's a matte finish pressed powder formula. It doesn't have sulfates, SLS, and SLESs. Medium coverage, which I'm not sure how you have medium coverage with a face palette, eyeshadow palette, but whatever. A first of its kind neutral toned eyeshadow palette with 12 creamy buildable shades curated for every skin tone with a feather light matte finish. And I agree to all of that. It's a beautiful palette. Again, I've not tried any of his other palettes, but I'm definitely now wanting to pick up his others and give them a try. Let me know if you guys have picked this one up or any of his older palettes, and let me know how they compare. I'm definitely going to pick more from this brand because I really like. The product is going to be a primer, so we don't have a new foundation, at least in this go around. The second go around we will. So I'm using a foundation today that I very well know and love, and I know how well it works. I absolutely love it. It's one you can get from Sephora. Like I said, everything's going to be, anything off camera is going to be stuff that you can get from Sephora, minus the powder. Just because I love this powder, and I actually was going to use my Micole, which you can get at Sephora, and then I had to reach for my Sigma powder. It's just so pretty. But this is the One Size Secure the Glow Tacky Hydrating Primer. I mean, how cute is this packaging for one? Love it. I thought there was a lid on the pump when I got it, but I can't find it. So I'm not sure about that. But anyways, it retails for $26. And some information here. I mean, obviously it says it's hydrating. It's supposed to give a radiant finish, lawn wearing, good for dryness, hydrating, and has hyaluronic acid. A hydrating primer with advanced capitalized technology, which is what these little beautiful pink balls are. Technology that visibly boosts radiance, giving a smoother makeup application for a glowy look all day. I'm going to assume because it's tacky, it's supposed to also help with longevity of your makeup. It didn't say that, but I'm going to assume that. So I'm just going to take a few pumps out, and here's what it looks like. And I'm going to just apply it like I would a moisturizer. And we're going to see. We're going to see if this gives us a hydrated feel, if it gives us a tacky feeling, all of that. Normally, if I'm trying a new primer and then I have a new foundation, I either will apply it to just one side of the face and then one side without, so we can see how the primer works compared to how it doesn't. But this foundation we're using today, I've had for months and I've used it so many times. I know how well it works, so we're going to put it all over the face. I try not to combine a new foundation, a new primer, and even a new powder, but there are times that it just happens that way, so I try to make things a little bit different when that does happen. So that is supposed to be hydrating, and it did, like I said, it didn't say anything about lawn wear, but I would, okay, it's a little tacky. I mean, it even says it's tacky. So it being tacky would make me guess and think that it's going to help your makeup grip, but it's definitely nothing like the e.l.f. gripping primer, for example. That's very gripping and tacky, and that does a great job with the longevity of your makeup. This doesn't really feel it. It definitely felt nice going on. It didn't give me too big of a difference of a radiance look, so I'll test it out a little bit more. Is the packaging adorable? Absolutely. I'm a sucker for packaging, but would I tell you need to go out based off of first impressions and purchase this? No, because I honestly feel like my moisturizer gave me more hydration than that. I can get a really beautiful radiance look from so many different primers I already have, inexpensive and expensive. I don't think that gave too much of a radiance. Maybe I didn't use enough. Like I said, all this stuff I play around with, and then once I have final thoughts, it goes into speed reviews for you guys. But we're going to see now how my Glossier foundation, I have it in Light 2, will apply on top of it. This is a foundation that I love. It's just so pretty. It's very light to medium type of coverage, but it blends so nicely onto the skin, and I feel like it works so well with all of my primers, concealers. Like, there is nothing about this foundation I do not love. I need to move my mirror. So I'm going to go ahead and apply it, and I guess it's going to show us how well this will make my makeup last and how well it will adhere to my face. Since, like I said, it's got a little bit of a tackiness, I don't think it's really going to do much for that. I think it's more so supposed to give a hydration to your skin, maybe that glow that I really didn't see. The shade is actually a pretty good shade in the summertime, but right now I'm a little white. So like most of my foundations, even if they do match me pretty well, like this one does match pretty well, I do like to still bring them down my neck. So I'm still going to bring it down my neck here. And then, as always, no matter what brush I'm using, this is the Nikki LaRose N17, the two-sided brush. This is such an amazing brush. I'm using the foundation side, and then the other side we will use later on for our blush. This brush that she came up with, genius. But I always go in with my sponge and press it into my skin, no matter what brush I'm using, just to make sure. Same with my concealer. I just like to make sure everything is cohesively pressed into the skin. And I will bring you guys up close here in a second, just so we can see what the skin looks like with that primer. I'm not seeing much of a difference. Like my foundation, I've used this so many times, I feel like it looks the same. Maybe a tad bit more glowier because this foundation is a little bit more on the natural side. It's not too matte, not too glowy. So maybe that gave a tad bit of radiance to the skin, but here we have just the primer, and then we have the primer with the foundation. Let me zoom you guys in and I'll show you. All right, guys, so here we have the side with the primer and then the side without. It's, yeah, I don't really think it gave too much of a difference. Like I said, maybe a tiny, tiny bit of a glow, but that's about it. My foundation usually looks like this, just maybe a little bit more natural looking, but I don't think $30-some worth. Okay, so now we have one of the Sephora collection products. It is a new kind of glowy, radiant concealer. It's the Sephora Best Skin Ever Glow. It's a multi-purpose concealer, luminous finish. I have mine in 25N, which is supposed to be neutral, I believe. Yeah, 25N, which is a medium skin with neutral undertones. It's a liquid formula, radiant finish, fragrance-free, hydrating, good for uneven texture and medium coverage. A new lightweight, radiant Sephora collection multi-purpose formula that corrects, conceals, and instantly brightens under eyes for a glowy, natural complexion that leaves skin luminous and hydrated for up to 12 hours. And it retails for $15. And here is what the component looks like the packaging, and then we'll look at the actual component. And right now, Sephora products are 30% off. So a very, very thin component. We're going to put a little bit, because it's supposed to be radiant, down the center portion of our face. And then we will also go ahead and put a little bit there. And then I like to just put a little bit at the end to kind of do a lifting effect. And I'm going to take this for now, and we're going to blend out the center portion, see if it brightens up the inner portion of our face. Yeah, you did a good job. Now let's see if it is picking up my foundation. It is a little bit right here on my lip. Okay, so I'm gonna blend under the eyes now. We'll see how it works for under the eyes. Maybe it's just one of those products that you really don't want to put on your face. I don't know. Maybe it's a combination between the primer, the foundation. Maybe it's not going to go well with this foundation. Maybe it's, I don't know, maybe it's the product. Who knows? That's why I do these first impressions, and then I continue to try things out. It's looking pretty good under the eyes. It's definitely got a beautiful radiance. I would say definitely not a lot of coverage, but it doesn't look bad under the eyes. I do notice a little bit of the same under this eye, but it's not as bad as it was on my upper lip, and it's definitely giving some pretty radiance. I'll go ahead and swatch to the shade. I wouldn't say this is a medium shade. It's a very peachy tone, which I figured would be good for brightening and discoloration, and it doesn't look too bad. So like I said, we put some here and then here, so this has nothing and this has some. It definitely did some brightening and a little bit of correcting, but it's a very light coverage, which I expected being medium or being a radiant type of formula, and it felt very, very thin, like watery serum texture, and those don't typically give a lot of coverage. Sometimes they do, like the Tower 28 serum one I absolutely love. That actually gives a really good medium coverage. I would say this is a light to possible build up to medium. I don't want to build it up because it is doing something funky under my eyes. I'm going to zoom you guys in to show you, which is what it was doing on my lip. So again, I don't know if it's the combination of the foundation and this concealer. Sometimes certain concealers and foundations don't work well together. Maybe it's the combination of the foundation and primer and concealer, or just the concealer itself doesn't work well, or even maybe the Super Goop sunscreen, because that was put under my eyes as well. So again, that's why I test all of these products out multiple ways, multiple times before giving a final review. This is just first impressions, but let me zoom you guys in. All right, so as you guys can see right here, it's almost got a pilling effect. There's nothing under here, and that eye looks fine, but right here, it's almost pilling a little, and it's really like gripping to what was under my eye. So it could be a number of things. We have blush, bronzer, and highlighter left, and then the last lip product. Off camera, I went ahead and used my Sigma powder to set my face. I didn't set all of my face, just where we're going to be putting these powder products, just to give my face a smooth finish. I have this in Vanilla Bean. Love this. Like I said, you can't get this on Sephora, only through Sigma's website. Was going to use the Micole, but I really like this one. It gives me beautiful airbrush finish. So what can I say? I'm sorry. And then I went ahead and curled my lashes. Well, this one, and then put on my mascara on this one and realized I didn't curl them. So I did try to curl them after. It didn't work very well. But my Give Beauty, I love this mascara. It really does a great job at lifting. And I love that it's got this ball at the end, because my outer lashes always seem to fall. They really don't like to curl either, no matter what. So that little ball at the end is really good to get in there and get on your lower lashes, which I do have some cleanup I need to do. I know, I'm just letting it dry. I really need to pick up the full size of that, because I do like to get, if you're new here, if you're not new, you know, but if you're new, you don't know. I like to get minis, travel size of stuff to try out first, instead of committing to a full size, and I absolutely love that. The Give and Tower 28 are the two most absolute favorite mascaras of mine from Sephora, and I have the Tower 28 in the full size, so I need to pick that one up. And then I went ahead and on the lower lash line, I cleaned up this BK Beauty brush, this really tiny one that I love, that we used on the upper lashes. And I went ahead and put some shadow on the lower lash. I do that all the time too. Like I said, I don't usually use liner. I don't have a lot of liner pencils or liquid liners or anything like that. It's just more forgiving to use eyeshadow. And I went ahead on the lower lash line and used that color and then that color. So we have that. But now we have from Sephora, they have a couple new products. They have a new bronzer and a new highlighter. So we have those today, and then we have a new blush that I'm so excited for. But the Sephora bronzer, it's a matte. It retails for $16, and I have mine in Golden Getaway. And here's the packaging. It looks super, super cute, and it's got a mirror. And again, I didn't pull it off. I did swatch it. It seemed pretty light when I swatched it, so we shall see how it applies on the face. I love it. I love when they put mirrors in. Great for travel, and if you're doing a video like this. But there's the swatch, and then let's put it on the back of the hand. It feels so silky and smooth. Yeah, see, that looks a little light for my skin, but it's got a really nice neutral undertone. It says on Sephora that the shade is a light golden bronze. It definitely is. I would say golden, but I see some light neutral in there. I don't see red or even orange. I like to go for neutral, but if I can't get a neutral, I do like to go for more red undertone than orange. It just doesn't look good on me. And I'm going to use the Nikki LaRose in 15. I love this for cream. I have not used it for powder yet, so we are definitely playing around here. And I don't know how much to use, so I'm just going to swirl my brush in. I mean, just look how cute that is too. They did such a good job. We're going to tap it off a little, and then I'm just going to start. Ooh, it's got a smell, almost like a perfume smell. Yeah, it's got almost a perfume smell to it. That's odd, but it's not bad. Okay, so I may have applied a little too much on this brush, or maybe because this brush is a little bit more dense. So let's go ahead and blend. Let's just blend away here. Oops. And that's what these are for. But it's actually blending really nicely, even though I may have applied a little too much, or maybe I shouldn't be using this brush for powder. I've seen her use it for powder though, so I figured I could use it for powder. Okay, it's blending out really, really nicely. And I am just putting a little bit here on my forehead at my lash line or my hairline. I don't go all the way up here because, as you guys can see, I got that sun damage spots, and I mentioned it in my last video. I don't do that because when I put bronzer up there, I've noticed it just makes it muddy. So I do stop about here where that sun damage spot does kind of start. I know it may be looking a little crazy on camera because I can see in my viewfinder it looks a little crazy, but I'm promising you guys it's blending out really nicely. And it's not blending out patchy or anything. It looks really, really pretty. And it only retails for $16. And again, it's on 30% off right now during the Sephora VIB sale. A bronzing powder that has a hybrid creamy, silky texture that melts the skin into the skin for a natural sun-kissed result. I definitely agree with that. It's really pretty. It was really nice and silky and smooth. It definitely felt a little creamy, but it blended really nicely even with a brush like this, I might have to go on the other side with a different brush. But I promise you, I know it's not showing on camera, but it's actually blended out really nicely on actual camera. It's a really pretty color. I feel like if I would have went up a shade to Beach Bum Tan, that's medium skin tone, it would have been a little too dark. Like, let me see if it will show me actual swatches somewhere on here. Like, it gives like swatches like this. So that's right there is the shade that we just put on. And then if I go up one shade, that's the swatch. It looks a little too dark. It was a big jump between the one that I got and the next one. So I think this was a good shade. May have to go up a shade, but for $16, like, I will use this up for sure because it's really, really pretty. Ooh. Oh, I just got that all over my fingers. I do really like it. I think it's a really pretty smooth, silky bronzer. It's a powder bronzer, so there ain't much you can say about it, but sometimes they get really patchy. I didn't find this to be patchy at all, and I really like this matte, sleek packaging, and for $16, I will definitely, if I have to, pick up a deeper shade for summer. It looks really, really pretty. It doesn't look muddy. It looks really good. We'll see how their blush applies on top of it, and we'll see how the highlighter from the Sephora collection applies on top. But my suggestion is maybe don't go in as heavy-handed as I did, or maybe more of a fluffy brush. This one's more dense. Maybe I should have used the side instead of the top because the top's a little bit more tapered, but I digress. We're moving on to the blush. I forgot to mention, I didn't set the under eyes. I don't think I said that. I don't want to because it's a new concealer. It is creasing under there a little, but I mean, that happens with every concealer. We all have fine lines and wrinkles under there. It's just a matter of how much, and I expected it to, being a radiant concealer. All right, now this was like probably the most anticipated product for me because I love the highlighter. I'm sure you guys can all guess, the Rare Beauty Soft Pinch Luminous Powder Blushes. I had a hard time picking a shade. I got mine in Happy. This is the packaging just like her highlighter. Her highlighter I need to pick back up. It broke. So I will say don't travel with these because these look just like the highlighters, like the packaging, everything's the same. It's pressed. The highlighters easily break. I was almost out of mine when it broke. So, I mean, no big deal, but I definitely need to pick our highlighter back up because I love that highlighter. Like, it's so pretty. And although I don't usually like a glittery, shimmery, luminous blush, I feel based off of the swatch, when I swatched this, oh, it's so silky. And how much I love her highlighter. It did not show my texture more than normal, her highlighter. There's the swatch on my finger, and then I'll show you the back of my hand here. It's a very, very light pink. Like, it's not going to show up, I don't think, very much. So it's more going to be this wash of color. But look at that beautiful luminosity. I mean, it has to be the same formula as our highlighter. It feels the same. It looks the same. I'm going to hope and assume it's not going to show my texture more than my texture normally is showing. Just like with our highlighter, I kind of got out of highlighters for the longest time. And then when I tried her soft pinch highlighter, I fell back in love with highlighters. And I just haven't picked that one back up once it broke because I've just been so busy trying other things. But I definitely need to. Maybe I will, while the sale is still going on, make another order just for that because I love that highlighter. But I'm really excited to give this a try. Like, I'm very curious on how it's going to look on the skin. I did just recently try a blush almost like this from Catrice, but I feel like the difference, because I swatched this and then actually went back and looked at my video that I just filmed for you guys from the Catrice one, and I feel like there was more glitter in the Catrice one. This is more of very light pearlescent luminosity. It's not glittery. It's not chunks of glitter, whereas the Catrice had glitter in it. It showed off my texture way too much. So I'm going to take the other side of this Nikki LaRose N17. This side we used for our foundation, and then this side we're going to use for a powder blush. I'm just going to lightly tap off on the back of my hand just to kind of even it out and dispute it all over the brush to make an even application. I'm not expecting a lot. I expect the shade to be more of a very light wash of color. I definitely, depending how I like these on my skin, I love them as a swatch, but swatches can be totally different than your skin, or the swatch could look terrible and it could look good on your skin. So I digress. I might have to pick up another shade if I like these. 26, and she has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shades. It's a shimmer finish, pressed powder formula, radiant, without parabens, long-wear, and cruelty-free. A lightweight, glowy blush with buildable, seamless, and silky color to keep you beaming all day. So let's go ahead and apply. Yeah, see, that's a very light wash of color. So I think the shade Happy, is that what I got again? Yes, Happy, I feel like would be a great no makeup or a very, very light makeup day type of shade. It's actually showing a little bit more than I thought. I thought it would be a little bit more of a wash of color than this. Maybe it's the brush. I mean, it all depends on your brush too. If you have a fluffier brush, very loose bristles, it's going to be a lighter application. It's so pretty. Oh my gosh, you guys, so pretty. And you do not need highlighter with this. I can tell you that right now. You won't need any highlighter. We do have a new highlighter to try out, but you definitely don't need highlighter. Look at that luminosity. Ooh, that's so pretty. I was so excited for this. Like I said, this was probably the one thing I absolutely needed to pick up and wanted to, and would have without the sale. So pretty, so pretty. I absolutely love that. I highly recommend this. I'm excited to play around with it more. More face product, and then one more lip and we're done. And I know I said with this beautiful Rare Beauty blush, you don't need a highlighter because it gives that beautiful highlighter effect, luminosity, but we have one to try. It is new from the Sephora collection. It's $14, and this is an Ice Pearl. It's a golden shimmer tone, and they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shades. It's a pressed powder formula, light coverage, shimmery finish, good for uneven texture. An illuminating powder highlighter that instantly lights up the complexion and boosts its natural glow. Now, when I swatched it, it was, I mean, Ice Pearl is going to be that. It's going to be lighter, but I don't know. I'm almost feeling like it may not actually show up too much. We shall see, especially with the already very glowy and luminous and beautiful blush. So what we're going to do is I'm going to apply some down the center portion of my face and see if it shows up here, because obviously it may not show up very well with that blush because we already have that very beautiful blush on. Yeah, it's a very light highlighter. So again, a no makeup type of look, I think it would be good. I will have to play around with this a little bit more without that blush on, because I don't think it's really gonna show much on the cheeks. Yeah, so it is a little, it's changed. You can see the iced color a little bit here on my cheek, but it just looks like I've just got a little bit more shimmer on, maybe a little too much shimmer now. I don't usually go for this much, so I definitely would not put this on with that blush. That's a little too much to pair together on a day-to-day, but this is a testing new makeup video, so we're just pairing it all together. I can't really give too much. I feel like it went down the center portion of my face pretty well, and it doesn't look bad. It definitely, you know, gave me a little bit of a glow, a little bit on my Cupid's bow. So not bad. I will give it a little bit test more. I mean, there's other shades, so honestly, I could pick up another shade and it may show a little bit more. They have like a golden tone, a rose tone, the one I got, a bronze, a pink, I mean, a sparkly honey, warm champagne. Warm champagne may show up a little bit better than this. This might be a good inner corner. I don't know. The very last product is the Tower 28 Lipsoftie Hydrating Tinted Lip Treatment Balm. Retails for 16, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shades. A clinically proven non-sticky lip balm treatment that delivers the intense hydration of a lip mask with a sweet sheer tint using food-grade, non-artificial flavor. I have mine in Dulce De Leche. Here's the applicator. So it's a lot different than the other ones. And let's swatch it. Again, it's probably going to be a very sheer wash of color. Ooh, that one actually has a little bit more pigment than the other one. Oh my God, it smells like caramel. Oh, that smells so good. All right, let's put this on. I actually like this applicator. I feel like it helps a smooth application. It goes on really nicely. It tastes really good too. Like, it smells like caramel and tastes really good. All right, guys, so that is it. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you subscribe. You have the bell notification on so you're notified of all my uploads, because I will be doing speed reviews. This was just first impressions. Real quickly, I'm obsessed with this. Definitely 10 out of 10 so far. I love the Sephora bronzer. This I'm excited to play around with more. Definitely another 9 out of 10. I haven't played too much with it, but so far really good. This I'm not really sure about. I gotta play around with it more, so I can't really do much rating. This I don't think it was worth it. Again, I'll play around with it more, but I think you can get better. This was another really great lip treatment. I love the Tower 28 one too. I just put it on, but I'm loving how it looks. It did the same thing that this did. It smoothed my lip lines. It looks really, really pretty. Absolutely love it. So that is it, guys. Oh, and the Sephora concealer, I don't know. I have to play around with this more, but this was probably the biggest flop out of everything. So thank you guys so much for watching. I love you, and I'll see you here very soon. Bye.